This podcast is a member of the Place to Be Nation family. Visit us at placetobenation.com, the only place to be in your pop culture world.
Just a good-looking man, and any barmaid can be a star maid if she dances with or without a plan. Hooray for Holly.
Place to Be Nation Pop Experience. Welcome to today's edition of the movie review of the day. I am Andy Atherton back here with you, hanging out in a midweek-ish movie review here. And for today's edition, I'm going back to 1991 to talk about one of my favorite movies from the early 90s, Point Break. I love this movie. It is one of those movies that I get sucked into all the time whenever I'm flipping channels and I find it on. There's not a bad part of this movie. There are some great lines in it. There's some great action. There's some funny in there, and it's just a like a fun ride. Basically, is the best way. I'd have to check. I'd have to check back through the archives, but I believe in our show with our friend Matt Souza, who used to be part of this feed. Now he's over killing it on the Backbone Wrestling Network. Also does some shows on the NoSo North South Connection podcast feed and YouTube channel. But I think they covered it on A Piece of the Action. And if they didn't, it probably was on my wish list. I think I appeared on that show once. And I did one of my other favorite movies for guys who like movies. If any of you get that TNT reference from the 90s, Con Air. I love that fucking movie, I swear. So I gave you the log line already, I believe. And but if I didn't, it's an FBI agent goes undercover to catch a gang of surfers who may be bank robbers. Pretty simple, right? And it stars Patrick Swayze, Keanu Reeves, Gary Busey, Lori Petty, John C. McGinley, James LaGrosse, John Philbin, Borges, Christopher, and a few other people who you probably aren't household names, but they do their parts well in this movie. Like I said, I love this movie. I mean, Keanu was in his action. He was just really getting into his action star mode here between, this and Speed and other movies. He had, coming off of, the mid to late 80s where he was Ted and he was also in Parenthood. He was in a few other movies. A very small part in Youngblood, which I will talk about when we cover hockey movies. So basically, if you haven't seen this movie, and sorry that it's a 35-year-old movie at this point if I spoil it, but it's great. Johnny Utah is a former Ohio State quarterback and a rookie FBI agent. He gets assigned to work with agent Angelo Pappas, who is investigating a string of bank robbers known as the ex-presidents in Southern California. There are four men who rob banks while wearing masks of four former presidents, and it's Reagan, Carter, LBJ, and Nixon, right? And they have it down to a science. They're very precise. They keep on point. They never deviate from their plan, which is why they've been a success. And through trial and error and little investigation, Pappas has a theory that the criminals are surfers because you don't see the robberies have only been during a certain period of time, which is the summer, and then they go live off the money in the end. And so Utah goes undercover. He infiltrates the surfing community by helping out with Tyler, who is Lori Petty's character, she was pretty hot coming off of League of Their Own, and she brings him in, teaches him surfing, and then he gets to meet up with Bodie, who is probably like he's the Zen surf master kind of leader of this group that's out there, and that group also includes Roach and Nathaniel, and I believe it's Gromit. I think the guy's name is. I've seen he was in a few other things, but so they he tries to figure out that, he gets into a fight with these four guys, right? And Anthony Kiedis, the lead singer of Red Hot Chili Peppers, actually is part of that group, and it's a pretty good fight scene. And he deducts that he thinks these guys are the ex-presidents, so they go on a raid. They raid the guys' the house. A few of them get killed, some get arrested. Turns out there's an undercover agent there, by the name of Agent Dietz, who is played by Tom Sizemore, and Utah got it wrong. These guys were in I believe they were in like Tijuana or something like that. They weren't around when one or two of the robberies took place. So then, after being part of this group with Bodie and them, Utah kind of puts it together that his new friends are the ex-presidents, and they Tyler then ends up discovering Utah's FBI badge, and she walks out on him. Afterwards, Bodie coerces Johnny into going skydiving. After the jump, Bodie reveals that he knows Johnny is an FBI agent and has arranged for his friend Rosie, who is a non-surfing thug, to hold Tyler hostage to blackmail him into assisting the ex-presidents with their last bank robbery of the summer. During the robbery, though, Bodie decides to go off script and go into the vault, which kind of starts to lead to the beginning of the end for the ex-presidents, because one guy gets killed on site there, and then I forgot which one. I think Rama gets killed there, and then also an undercover cop, and Johnny C. McGinley, who I love. He's Dr. Cox on Scrubs to me, but he's great no matter what he's in. He ends up trying to fire or wants to whatever with Utah. Utah ends up having to go along with Angelo to go to the airport to confront the ex-presidents, and that's where Nathaniel ends up getting killed, and Roach gets critically wounded, but also Angelo dies because Johnny refuses to take a shot at Bodie. So then, the plane goes in the air. Roach ends up dying by between leaving the plane and landing on the ground, and Bodie ends up getting away, but Tyler gets safe. So we fast forward to some time later, and we're in Australia, and Johnny knows exactly where Bodie was going to be for this giant ass wave that is basically unsurvivable, and he confronts Johnny, ends up putting handcuffs on him, and Bodie convinces Johnny to let him go out there, and Johnny knows he's not coming back from that. Nobody survives trying to surf that wave, and Johnny in the end throws his badge away. But it's just an action flick. It's a little ridiculous at times, but I think the action is great in it, and everybody does such a good job. And Keanu and Patrick Swayze have such great chemistry, and it's unbelievable. So I highly suggest you check it out. I recommend it. All right. So that brings an end to today's edition, but there is one more coming to you, and I will be back to tomorrow to let you know what that one is, as well as let you know what our next theme week will be. All right, so hope you guys have had a great week so far, and we're going to bring it home tomorrow. Take care.